Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Cassandra and thank you for watching. So today we're going to be talking about my PCOS story and how it all began. And so far I've been making some videos on PCOS and I'm going to be just trying to spread some knowledge and also just build a community. So yeah, but let's get right into the video. So my PCOS story, it is definitely, this is like very personal, so I'm gonna try to get into as much details as I can, but just basically gonna tell you the overall of how or when I got diagnosed. And I also self-diagnosed myself at 19. So I got my period at 11 and my period was never normal. My first period was about 2 weeks long, and my mom and I just thought it was gonna regulate itself, and it just really never did. So yeah, I've when I was younger, like 11, 12, 13, it was every 2 to 3 months I would get my period. But I thought that was normal for me. I don't know, I was 11. I didn't know really what it was. And I wasn't very talkative, so I didn't tell my mom these things were happening. Which note, if you are just getting your period or still learning about it and you have questions, definitely talk to your mom. She can't help you, or your guardian can't help you if you don't talk. So when I was 13, and this was, we had first moved in to a new house, which my mom still lives in now, but we moved into a new house, and I was on my period for like a month and a half, and at this time, like, I didn't buy any of my own pads or anything. It was all my mom buying that. But she didn't notice they were going so fast. She just kept supplying more. I was bleeding for a month and a half, and I was helping my mom cook, and when I was helping her cook, I felt extremely dizzy. It was summertime, I believe it was August, and I told my mom, "Ma, I feel dizzy," and I was like, "Ooh," and then I went to the floor very gracefully. I can laugh about that now because I'm 26, and that happened when I was 13, so like 10 years ago. And I definitely learned a lot since then, even since like a month or two ago. So that was what happened. And so I didn't get diagnosed with PCOS then, but I was prescribed birth control to regulate my period and to make sure that I was bleeding every month. And so a lot of the things from back there I don't really remember too well. I just do remember hearing a few things here and there because they weren't really talking to me, they were talking to my mother. So it's a little but I do remember someone stating a few different things, but besides the point. So I've been on birth control on and off since 13. I'm now 26, and I decided to get back on birth control because sometimes that's what's best, get regulated, because when you're not, sometimes some bad things can happen. So I self-diagnosed at 19. So at 19, I was in college, and Google search away. I love doing researches. So I did a little research, and I just wanted to check on all of that I just wanted to check on what was going on, what I could possibly have, since a cousin of mine, we're not too far on age, she was diagnosed, but I was never diagnosed, and our moms used to talk to each other throughout high school, and they used to talk about similar things, but she was diagnosed with PCOS and I wasn't. And I didn't know why, but I do now. I only had irregular periods, and she had more symptoms. You have to have 2 or 3 symptoms to get diagnosed. Insert for video number 1 here. If you don't know what PCOS is and you need to know, I'll put in the description box below. I'll put in my first video so you guys can see and know what it is. But she was diagnosed and I wasn't, because I only had 1 and she had multiple. And so when I was 19, that's when I really started getting more excessive facial hair. So basically, I started getting a little bit of chin hair. Not something you really want to talk about, but that's the honest truth. That's what happened. So I was doing my research and I self-diagnosed myself at 19 because I at least had 2. I had irregular period and I had excessive facial hair. So I was just self-diagnosed myself because I was like, other things are probably a contributing factor. But I got diagnosed at 22, around 22, 23. I forget exactly how old I was. But when I got out of college and I came home, I just went and I was doing a physical, regular physical. I don't even remember if it was for work or it was just time for a physical. I was doing the physical and they did blood work and my hormone levels came up, and the doctor looked at it and she was like, I'm thinking that you might have some PCOS, but I'm not sure. I'm going to refer you to this person and then they can do a more thorough test or a more thorough check. And she said that because when I went, I hadn't removed any of my chin hair, which I normally do, but sometimes I get lazy and hey, it's just there. And I'm gonna be honest, sometimes you just don't feel like doing stuff. So that was there, and she saw it. She saw the test levels and saw my hormones were so my androgen levels, that was all crazy and stuff. So, yeah, she was like, you most likely have this, but she didn't want to officially do it. So she sent me to another doctor, and then Dr. Kim, I don't know her real name, but she told me to call her Dr. Kim. She was freaking amazing, and she diagnosed me. She looked at me, she looked at the tests, and she was like, you most likely really do have it. I'm gonna diagnose you with it. And she did. She said if I wanted to, I can get I think it was a pelvic examination or something like that to go take a look at my ovaries. And I was like, I'm not gonna do it. I kind of already know that I have this and I'm just gonna take your word for it because I had already self-diagnosed myself. So I was like, this is just what I knew coming true. You're just saying what I'm saying. So that's good because we can both agree that I have PCOS. So that's how I got diagnosed. But what really made me start this channel was about... So actually, by the time you guys see this video, it would have been a month and a half ago. So I was working and my clinic was calling me and calling me and calling me. Actually, rewind. So what really happened was I was working and then I got super dizzy while at work, and I'm never super dizzy. But I got super dizzy that day, and then I was like, this is not okay. I really thought this was gonna resolve itself and I was gonna stop my period, but that didn't happen. So my period started in July, right? This is July. And by the time it really started to affect me, like not just being tired and all this other stuff that was going on with my body, because I was extremely exhausted every day, and I still managed to work 2 jobs. Don't know how I did it, but I did. So I was extremely exhausted. I felt dizzy one day, and that scared me, and I didn't want anything bad to really happen. And that's when I really took it seriously that my body was not going to stop. It didn't know when to stop was the actual reality of it, and I didn't know that. So I got my doctor, I made an appointment, and when we did the appointment, she was like, all right, let's put you on birth control. This must be really annoying, bleeding that long. And I'm like, going on 4 months, this is crazy. But yes, I don't know, the longest period I've ever had, and I am never, ever, ever gonna try to like naturally be like, it's gonna learn, my body knows what it's doing. It's no, my body doesn't, they don't communicate, and that's what I learned. So there is that. But so then I started taking the birth control, and I started slowing it down. I actually did order for labs. So when I went for the labs, because the day I did go to the clinic, it was closed. So I went my next available day. And then when I did go, it was on Wednesday. And then the next day, this is where the clinic was calling and calling and calling and calling. And I'm like, I'm at work. If someone doesn't pick up the phone, they're busy. Leave a message. They did. They left like 8 messages, and they called me 10 times. So I had about 18 notifications on them. Messages were all the same. Hi, this is insert clinic's name, calling for Cassandra regarding your lab results. This lady was saying it over and over and over and over and over again. Sorry, Siri, not talking to you. And so she just kept calling me, saying the same thing over and over again. So then I was like, okay. I was finally done with work, and I was like ready to pack it up. They called again, so I was like, I'll pick up. And I'm like, sorry, I'm working. And she goes, your lab results just came in, and we have you to go to St. Francis like immediately. You need a blood transfusion. You're extremely like anemic. Like, I don't want to scare you or anything, but that's what has to happen. And I was like, oh, well, dang, that's serious. Blood transfusion? Like, what? And then, mind you, I was only done working with the morning. I had like a lunch break, maybe 2-3 hours, and then I had to work again. And I was like, So I messaged my manager, and I was like, so I most likely can't work in the afternoon. Do you think you can reschedule that for me? And thankfully she did. I called my sister. I was freaking out. I might be all smiley now, but I was like, oh, teary, cry. I was freaked out. 1, I never had a blood transfusion. 2, I don't even know, really, I didn't know what that was. And just the word freaked me out and scared me, because just the reality of this is more serious than what you made it out to be. Like, I was thinking it's not serious, whatever. Like, maybe I was just getting dizzy because I was like losing too much blood. I didn't even take into consideration that I was super tired all the time. So yeah, I called my sister, and thankfully she was able to get out of work and she went with me, and we went. And then I was like, I was like, oh, like, I didn't know what admitted was. I was getting admitted and I didn't know what that meant. So then we went and I'm checking in, and they were all extremely nice when I went to the hospital, and everything was good. And then I realized admitting, and then I didn't know how long it was gonna take. And kind of got a little overwhelmed because, like, once I got admitted and I was in the room and the doctors came, they all came at once and they're all saying a bunch of different other stuff, and you're just like, and then the person came to give me like the IV in my arm, and I'm just like, there's a lot of shit going on right now, a lot. And then like that needle, I don't care, that needle hurted. They put it in my arm, like, have no scars but right here, and it freaking hurt a lot. And so I was crying and I was crying some more. And then I stopped crying and they was like, oh, I'll give you a minute, we'll come back. But yeah, and then basically I forget what it was called, but it was extremely anemic to the point where I needed a blood transfusion to help me out. Once I got the blood transfusion and it was all done, I wasn't tired anymore. So I was like, maybe that's why I was tired so much for so long. So yeah, there's that. I got 3 bags of blood in my body. I don't know if it's still in there or this is my blood now. I don't know. It's just weird. But I stayed overnight at the hospital, and then this is where I'm at now, post-hospital, much healthier, more at a state of mind where I want to pass the knowledge to the next person. I want to make sure that everyone knows what they have, the seriousness of it, and the like this is what you have. It's not the worst thing. Everyone has to deal with something. This is just the hand you're dealt with. So there was that. That was my last hospital stay. And yeah, let me see, did I leave anything out? No. Oh, when I was at the hospital, I did have I don't know, where they check your uterus through your vagina. Yeah, they did that, and we were looking at my uterus, and I kind of wish I had pictures to show you guys, but they were like the tiniest little cysts in there, like just so tiny. So then they reiterated that I have PCOS, and like the seriousness of it, and not letting going this prolonged amount of time bleeding happen again. Like, just don't let that happen again. And I was like, it won't. I learned my lesson. This is way too long. This is way too long. So yeah, there's that. But I felt much better after the hospital, and that event, that incident, this whole past maybe 6 months of my life made me realize that I want to share. I want to tell people what this is. I want to make it more well known. And I'm here now. Now you're watching my video. This video is super long, but I am very talkative, and I definitely wanted to let you know about everything about my PCOS story. It definitely started when I was 13, and I'm 26 now, and I just had a hospital stay not too long ago, and I want to let everyone know about the seriousness of it, I guess. I didn't tell a lot of people when it did happen. I'm very personal like that, but if you don't know, now you do. So sorry to anyone that is semi-close to me and I did not tell you. I'm very personal, so I'm breaking out of that bubble in this video. So yeah. But okay. So that's everything I have for you guys today. That is my PCOS story. And if you want to share yours, please leave a comment below. I'm going to read everything and check it all out. If you liked me sharing my story, please hit the thumbs up. If you want to stay tuned to more episodes or more videos, whatever we're going to call them, I'm going to be posting now every 2 weeks, every other Friday so far, until I get the hang of this and I learn the video editing. Sorry for my last video. If any of you guys did watch it and you're still watching now, apologies on the bad audio. Music was very loud. I know that. I'm sorry. Thank you for still trying to watch, and thank you for supporting, being a friend. Thank you guys. Yeah, so my next video will be in about 2 weeks. I didn't check the calendar, so I don't know when that is, but see you guys then. Bye.